Three, two, one. What's up, everybody in ISN Silver Stacking land? Jim Lewis. I am all the way over in Dana Point, California, and I have on the line with me Mr.
Pete Olsen
from
Kalispell, Montana.
What's up, Pete? How are we doing tonight?
Good to see you, Jim.
All right, so we're going to try this little Q&A thing out with the two of us. We're going to just have a little conversation. Not unlike just about every other night we do. We just don't do this in a video form, so this will be kind of fun and interesting to see how this works out, really. We've got some questions that we took earlier in the week. Thank you guys for putting some questions underneath the intro videos. We're going to go through those and then give you kind of a little bit of a step-by-step what we do during the week with our prospecting methods, and we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty. I love the really small details. To me, the devil's in the details, and that's sort of the type of thing Pete and I talk about every single day, and we always are adjusting our little details to get better and better results. So with that, Pete, what's going on tonight? It's a Sunday night. What are you, about almost 11 o'clock out there?
Yeah, man. I think it's about 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to get this recording out, answer some questions for the group, talk about a little review of what we do on a typical day in ISN.
Yep.
Daily method of operation.
Now, tell me honestly, it's 11 o'clock on a Sunday night. Is this pretty typical for you and I to be? We don't do the video call like this, but we're on the phone a lot, and sometimes grinding it out till who knows? It's even Sunday, really, right?
Yeah, I mean it's we're always taking it to it's absolute pleasure for us. So it's not work. So we're always grinding it to get better and better and better, and sharpening that axe. And whether we're talking about active recruiting or passive recruiting or different things that we're doing for a downline, so on and so forth. But always talking about money-making activities within ISN and how to get better at those every single day, every single week, et cetera, to set the tone and set the pace for the company.
Okay. So great. Speaking of tone, let's go ahead and jump into our first question by Daryl Ingevell from Canada, our Canadian rep. I keep looking at you and I need to look up at the camera. Sorry about that. Anyway, Daryl has a question, and this is down to the granular, like a very specific little nuance to prospecting. That's really an important question. And I'm going to throw it to you to kind of give your opinion, and then if I have anything to add, I will. But getting your tone and voice down, that's the first one. So what kind of tonality and I guess maybe is the posturing question there? And then how many dials a day do you typically do to start to see some progress? So kind of a two-part question.
So if I heard you correctly, you kind of went out there for a second. He wanted to know about tonality and posture. How do you get that down? Is that correct?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And how many dials per day, Jim?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Oh, okay, I can't hear you on that end. But there you go.
Yes, tonality and sort of the posturing, and then how many dials typically each day are you making? And we're going to go into our dials and get very specific, but let's kind of give a broad answer.
All right, so in regard to tonality and posture, it's exactly what Tracy Billard teaches. And the only way to get it down is to record yourself and listen to it over and over and over again. So there is different tonality and posture throughout the 30-second pitch. There are points that you speed up and points that you slow down. So it's listening to it over and over and over again to make sure that you get that with the examples that Tracy Billard gives. For instance, when I call up and say, Jim, hey Jim, it's Pete Olsen. I'm actually calling you from my home office here in Kalispell, Montana. I don't think the two of us know one another. I'm actually a big executive in the network marketing industry, and I know at some point in time or other, you've been in network marketing also. But hey, listen, I wasn't calling to give you a sales pitch or presentation or anything like that. I just had a simple question for you. I was wondering if you'd be open to taking a look at a phenomenal opportunity. And if you were, I would love to shoot you over some information. So you can tell where I ramped it up there. One of the biggest problems people have in that 30-second pitch is that they go too slow. And if you go too slow,
right,
the caller will just kind of, the prospect will just kind of interrupt you. It's got to flow. It's got to move, right? And it's got to be.
Well, let me interrupt you real quick. The thing I noticed, Pete, is you didn't give a pause break to give them a chance to get their foot in the door to say no. Or now sometimes they'll still do it, but very rare. You string it together with by the way your language was. So go back and rewind this video, guys, a minute and listen to that 30-second pitch. It was flawless. And there were so many little nuances, so many little details in his speed, his inflection. Did you notice his hands when he's like, but don't worry, I wasn't calling to give you a sales pitch. You could see it in his face. He was kind of like, it was a joke, kind of like, don't worry, I wasn't, calling to mess with you here. And he puts the hands up. It's just for us, it's kind of natural, but it's how you would maybe speak if you were standing in front of somebody, right? And that comes across in just that little tonality. Remember, people can feel what you're saying across the phone. They're feeling that energy more than the words that you're saying. So it's how you say it more so than exactly what you're saying. And if you listen to how he was saying it, there was a lot of detail in there. And if you can just copy what he just did, just copy that. Listen to it over and over and over again. That's the key.
And guys, if you don't want to say, just say you're an executive in network marketing. You don't have to say big executive. Just say, I'm an executive in the network marketing industry, and I know at some point in time, Bob, you've been in network marketing also, and then just let it flow from there. And just mimic, the thing that I did, I took Tracy's 30-second pitch, Jim, right? We just took that and we just mimicked it, right? Just word for word, tonality, expression, et cetera, et cetera. And then your posture shows up when you mimic exactly what he's doing. Not changing, but mimicking exactly how he reflects every word, every sentence, the flow, so on and so forth.
Right. Let me give you guys a little tip. If you have an iPhone, there's a... Do you have an iPhone there, Pete? Sorry. There's a little app on there called Voice Memos. I don't know if you all can see that up here. It's Voice Memos. Just go to Voice Memos, okay? And there's recordings that you can create and save. And these recordings allow you to listen to it over and over. So as an example, I would go to the Tracy Biller CDs and fast forward, like he doesn't give the 30-second pitch till about halfway through the first CD, for the Momentum CD. When you get to that point, hit your record button. You're listening to it in the car, let's say, or on your home CD player. CD players are getting a little sparse, I understand, but wherever you're listening to it, and then just record that little 10-minute section on the CD on your voice recorder, okay? And then, like most of us, this is what we run with, right? Run around with in the car and wherever. I bring it with me on my bike. I bring it with me on my walks. Put the headset in, whatever, and then just listen to that over and over and over and over. Then you don't have to hear the whole thing again, just the part where he's pitching it. And Tracy does it like 3 different ways with a slight variation each time. And that's literally what Pete and I did, is that when we first got those CDs, now we'd run through the whole hour and then start it again, another whole hour, start it again. But I'm just giving you a little shortcut. Take that section, put it on a recorder, and then just loop it for the next month, every day, as much as you can. If you guys walk like we do or run, put it in the headset and go for it. I know, Pete, you listen to a lot of this stuff on your treadmill runs. I do too, and that's how we get it ingrained. Good tip or what?
That's it.
Yeah?
I agree with you.
Okay.
And I think Daryl had asked a question about getting people to be there on the callback.
Right. No. Well, let's go to that one next. Let's do the how many calls a day?
Oh, how many? It depends on the day, man. It could be 10, it could be 30, it could be 100, it could be 70, anywhere in between. Depends on the day.
It's whatever you need to do. You know, your batting average
However
is different than Pete's.
The more you can do, the better.
Of course. Yep.
That's the answer.
All right. Another question from Daryl. How do you get more people to pick up the phone for the follow-up?
Right. So, you know, that's something that improves as your 30-second pitch gets better. Right? So the stronger your 30-second pitch and the more posture you have and the better your tonality, the better chance they're going to be there. But guys, I have it all the time where people aren't there that appointment time the next day. All the time. So that's where the numbers come in. You can't worry about that. You leave them a message, you follow up with them one more time the next day, that's it. Boom. They're not there, they're not there. But you're going through such numbers and you're filling the pipeline that doesn't matter. Right? Because there will be people that will be there. And there will be people that went through the funnel. And that you put on the three-way call with Jim or me. And that's the way it works. It's a numbers game within your target market.
So let me give a little tip here. One thing you did early on it's a little different than how Tracy teaches it, although you've had a conversation with him about it, and he's kind of leaned your way because of the success you've had with when you get the I'll take a look at what you have after you've asked the 30-second pitch. They say, yeah, I'll take a look at what you have. You say, great. What's the best email address? I'll send this right over to you. Okay, and you get their email address. You kind of get them to interact a little bit. You don't want to start asking big open-ended questions. That's not the purpose of that first call. But you want to get the email address and say, great, Bob. Now, the video is only about 15 minutes long. When do you think you'll have a chance to watch that? And they'll give you a time. Maybe later today, maybe tomorrow. And then what, Pete, you do is you say, great, 10 o'clock tomorrow, I'll give you a call. Or what I'm starting to experiment with is, great, you can watch it at 10. When you're done with the video, I'm going to put my phone number at the bottom. Call me back. All right? Call me right back. And when even if they don't call you back, I'm still going to call them. So setting that appointment time can make a big difference.
Very important. In
kind of holding them accountable for watching the video and then calling you back. You're not going to get everybody, but it's certainly a big tip. The other thing to Pete's, and then I'll let you comment about that, but the other thing to your 30-second pitch, you want to, and the way the 30-second pitch is set up is you want to come across with three things. You want to come across as a sharp individual, sharp as a tack, okay? You want to come across as a force, like you're a hurricane coming into harbor. You're a force that is going to need to be reckoned with. Not timid and weak and shoulders down and you're sitting here like this. Would you take a look at my opportunity? Stand up if you have to. Stand up straight. You're a force to be reckoned with. Okay? Sharp, you're a force. And two, you're professional. And just the 30-second pitch. We hear this feedback from people all the time, guys, that the way we come about them and come right at them with a direct question without all the fluff and time wasting. We hear from prospects all the time, Pete. Man, I really appreciate you being straight up with me and you know, and professional. You guys are professional. And it's because that's how we come across. So that's sort of the unspoken flavor you're transferring, right? Sharp, you're professional, and you're a force. And then that's going to give them more reason to actually take you seriously, go look at your stuff, and then call you back or be available for a call back. What more is there?
All three, very, very important. It's all part of the process, the formula.
Yep.
Right. Love it. Great tips.
Robert Ziegler, Ziegler, Ziegler?
Robert Ziegler.
Yeah. Ziegler. I'm sorry, Robert, if I butchered your last name there. Do you have a sales letter, Pete? And or let's see, do you have a sales letter prepared that you send out to prospects as Tracy Biller suggests? Also an email note, that would be good. So let's take his question and go back to the very beginning and kind of run through the whole process. What exactly we send when we communicate with our prospect, and what's really working in the field, as quickly as possible to compress that time. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we make the dial. If that person answers and their name matches the name on the genealogy list, we give the 30-second pitch. If it's a yes, they'd like more information, I confirm their email address, and I let them know I'll get that email out in a few minutes. And as you just mentioned, I'll set up a follow-up time. When you think you'll have a few minutes to take a look at that, and I'll follow up at that time. But what I'm going to send them, what we do, Jim, is we send them an email. It's about a paragraph long, and in that paragraph is our online tour, our sales funnel that we all have as reps with ISN. Also contained in that email is when I'll be following up with them, per our conversation, and just a little bit about myself and so on and so forth. And that's something, Jim, that we can make available, that email, I think, in a file in the group. We can do that for them.
Mm-hmm.
Make a note for that. That'd be great. And I email that out. At the bottom of that email, by the way, we always include 3 or 4 great pictures of silver, the visual, right? And then 1 picture of our Mercedes-Benz that we qualified for in the first 90 days. So, and that's the email. The reason that we send them through that funnel is because that's such an amazing tool. We know when they've entered the funnel, we know when they filled out the survey, and that's what it's there for. We want to get, as Jim talks about, as many people through that funnel as humanly possible. Whether they came through the funnel passively or they came through the funnel because they're on our genealogy list and they wanted to see more information. That's how we expose the company, is through the ISN funnel.
So technically speaking, you could just give somebody your funnel number, your URL address right over the phone. I mean, that is one way. So the gist of the question is, do you have a big old long sales letter that Tracy says you should sit down and write out, and it could be 5, 6, 10, 20 pages, for example. We did create one of those, but we stopped using it because it wasn't as duplicatable. Everybody was creating their own, and it was just it was slowing everything down. So we just eliminated it and went right to the sales funnel. And our goal is to get people to watch the 4 videos. That's it. Just go watch the videos. That's it. I don't want to confuse the issue. The only other thing we put in the email, besides basically the link, hello, thanks for taking the call, great to meet you, here's the video link, like Pete said, is the eye candy at the bottom. We swipe in a bunch of beautiful pictures that we've pulled right from this Facebook group, and we put them in under the PS, just to give them some visual of what our products are.
And also in that that email is so powerful because it's short, to the point, and people appreciate that. And the pictures, people appreciate that, and the funnel link. And you guys, as Jim said, all we want to do is get them to watch those 4 videos. You're peaking and passing. And that's all we want you to do is after they come through that funnel and you're notified by ISN, until you're a qualified leader, upline leader, which is, we typically qualify that as gold director, then you pass it on to your upline leader, right? And we call them together. Your phone on mute, we call the lead, you listen to how we handle the call. That's simple. Peak and pass, guys. Can't make it any easier on you guys when your upline is setting the example of how to make the call, and you're earning while you're learning, and that's a great thing.
I love it. I love it. Now, if you are making dials, Pete, and you get a voicemail, and we get voicemail, you leave the 30-second pitch minus the phishing question, just like Tracy teaches.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get through our dial session, we send another email. We send an email to our voicemails. right? We hit them two different ways. We send an email out to all the voicemails that we get and bad numbers, correct?
Yeah. In fact, to the voicemails, Jim, I don't send an email out.
Just the bad numbers.
Just the bad numbers. So if it's a bad number, guys, probably the easiest piece of advice I'd give is just the genealogy list has an email, and in that email, I just essentially give the 30-second pitch. That's it, the whole thing, not minus the phishing question. I give the whole thing. And then at the bottom, I have my signature, Gold and Silver Director, North America, ISN. And I actually have my funnel link underneath my signature.
Yeah. Just in case they get curious.
Essentially what I'm doing is I'm inviting them to go take a look, and they don't even realize it, right? There's the link.
Yeah. So right. I'm looking at it on the Mac. You can do a signature so that it's always copied in there, or you can just put it on a Word doc and copy paste. Boom. Put their email address in there, create a subject line. I have mine set up here. It says, hi, first name, and I just go in and overtype it. I just tried to call you, and then this is really important. I actually put the phone number that I just tried to dial so that it doesn't look like you're giving them a bunch of bogus spam mail, right?
Right.
Because you actually are putting in an old number, and they'll look at that and they'll go, holy crap, that is an old number. Maybe he was really trying to call me.
In parentheses, right next to, I just try to call you, parentheses, and the number that was on your genealogy list, right?
Yep.
So that way they're not saying this isn't some BS person trying to BS me. They'll actually look at that, as you said, and say, yeah, that was my old number. He wasn't kidding. Right? So you increase your credibility if they're reading that, right?
Credibility, professional and credible. Yep.
And guys, I get email responses. I also get phone calls from those emails. I've closed many people that their number was disconnected, or it was the wrong number. It was a new person that has that number, but I had their email address, and I sent them the email with the 30-second pitch, the whole thing, and with my contact information below and my signature, or my link, if you will.
Right.
People got back to me, and we've closed people that way. So it's like, just think of it as a free way to try to contact someone. Why wouldn't you do it? But I don't do that until the very end of my calling session.
And you do call them first, so it's not, you're not just
so I just mark it WN for wrong number, and if I did 40 dials that day, at the very end, then I'll go back and see all the ones that were wrong numbers. Then I'll go and email all those people.
Okay.
At that time, I won't stop my dialing session to email somebody.
Oh Lord, no! The momentum stops so quickly. So.
Yeah, you
run through the phone. I just sit here. I put my phone on my desk. I don't know if you can't see this, but I sit on my desk, and I just play buttons on here, and I just talk real fast.
Right.
Get it done. My notebook is right next to me. Okay, and then the other thing that we do, given time at the end of the session, is, especially if you have a unique name, that the wrong number. You found this little hack out. I really like it, and it's worked for you. You've brought some people in. I've gotten callbacks from this myself. I haven't sponsored anybody in from this technique yet, but it will come because I am getting callbacks, and that is tell them your Facebook technique. You go and you look for them on Facebook with their name, their email, or both, or what?
Right. So the pecking order goes like this. It's the phone call, if that's a wrong number. Then I go to an email. And if that email is undeliverable, then I go to the Facebook technique by typing their name and city in there, right? Name and state, if you will. So Jim Lewis, California.
Okay.
And a lot of times, guys, it can come up, and there's only one or two. They give you one or two options there, and you can kind of tell which one it is. Now, sometimes you'll put in a name, and there'll be 7 options, and you're kind of out of luck because you're just not sure who it is. But you can do it 2 ways. You can do the name, but you you can't put in the phone number, right? Because the phone number was bad. That's why we're there in the first place, right? And the email was bad. So you got to put in the name and the state behind it, and then if they're there, they're there. If not, so be it. You try 3 different ways to get hold of this person. That's more than an incredible effort. And I've got people, guys, that bad number, bad email address, but I found them on Facebook and I sent them a voice messenger, right? So I get it right on here. I go to my Facebook Messenger and I'll say, hey, Jim, it's Pete Olsen. I'm actually messaging. You see, I switch it to messaging. I'm actually messaging you here from my home office in Kalispell, Montana. I don't think the two of us have ever met. I'm actually a big executive in the network marketing industry. And I know at some point in time or other, you've been in network marketing also. But hey, listen, I wasn't reaching out to you to give you a pitch or presentation or anything like that. I just had a simple question for you. I was wondering if you'd be open to taking a look at a phenomenal opportunity. If you were, I would love to shoot you over some information. I appreciate it, Jim. Look forward to hearing from you. And I just let it fly, guys, right there on Messenger.
Now, the only other wrinkle I'll add to that message, Pete, at the beginning is, hey, John, I tried to reach you by phone. I had your number as 740-258-080584, and it came up disconnected. Golly, I also tried you by email. That's a bad email address, I guess. And then I'll go right into the pitch. I don't make that the real focus, but I want to throw that in like I'm really desperately trying to reach you. I've got something really important, and I'm pulling out every stop because you got to hear about what I have.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's really good.
So it adds another few seconds. By the way, do you friend them in order to send them that message?
No.
No.
Never. So
you don't need to do that.
No. The way you do it is when on the phone, I use my phone to do it.
Okay.
So you click message, then it'll say add to Facebook Messenger, and you click that, add to Facebook Messenger, and then you leave the message. Guys, that Facebook Messenger is an unbelievable recruiting tool. Okay.
It's like leaving
Very
a
powerful,
voicemail, and they'll actually hear it. Probably
and
before
hearing
they
your
listen
voice
to
is
them.
so much more powerful than typing, because everyone just types, right?
Yeah.
But just the same reason why we call people, because that's so much more powerful than words, right? They hear the inflection of your voice, they hear the tonality, they hear, how powerful of a networker you are. So,
right.
So to be able to say to somebody, hey, Jim, try to reach it by phone, 949-123-1234, and it was disconnected. And I tried to email you too at Jim at, such and such. That was disconnected. So I figure I'd try here, and I think I found you, but I'm actually messaging you here from my home office in Kalispell, Montana. Then you just go through the 30-second pitch.
Perfect.
Powerful. Really, really powerful. And I tell you, you will get people where it's a bad number, bad email address, and you find them on Facebook and close them. I've recruited many, many people that way.
I know.
Yeah.
I know every one of them. So that pretty well wraps up how we get the front end of the prospecting machine. The goal is to get them to the funnel and get them in to watch the videos. And then you get the email that says they were there, they answered the questions or not, they ordered their free silver or not. Doesn't matter. When you get that survey, whether it's filled out or not, but if you've got the name, the phone number, the email, it's go time. And you get your qualified upline sponsor on the phone, and hopefully the two of you can make that call together. You're on mute, so you can just listen to how it's done properly, whether that's with Pete or myself or whoever your upline sponsor is that is qualified to do that. We do a lot of those every single week. And then you can kind of hear how we call people back. We'll make maybe that another training session, but just know you have somebody who will do it for you, which is awesome. I actually use Pete from time to time to help make those calls. And we'll do it slightly different. Sometimes I won't be on mute. I'll just go ahead and kind of somewhat halfway interact. And it gives that person kind of a 2-on-1 3-way feel, if you will. and we're very gentle with it. We're not pounding them in. We just trying to want to cut to the chase. And what did they like? What they didn't like? Is this a go or not? You know, that's kind of what we're looking for.
Right.
Okay, Pete, we got time for one more question, and that came from. I just had it on my screen here. Hang on. That came from, I believe that came from my newest customer. I think it came, yeah, from my newest customer, Vincent. And that was Facebook ads. How do I do Facebook ads to generate leads to put them into the funnel?
Okay.
And I'm going to answer that question. I'll let you answer it. I don't do Facebook ads. I have not run any Facebook ads, buddy.
No.
Zero experience. I ran Facebook ads for another company about 3 years ago, and I drove them. Yeah, I drove them to a page to, like, and basically opt into the page. It was completely different than what we're doing, and I just haven't done it for ISN, so I can't answer that. We just pick up the phone and we make our calls. We already have a target market we're going after. Anything to add or anything different that you can think of?
No, that's good. I mean, and we're also, we got our target market through the genealogy list. We also pick up a lot of different things on social media just by sharing videos that we do, and but sharing other people's videos and then putting our link underneath, right? So we see a great video on silver and gold from Mike Maloney. I'll share that on YouTube. Click the share button and share it to my Facebook and my Google Plus and Twitter. But I'll have my ISN marketing funnel link right underneath it, right?
Yeah. Now that would fall under the passive recruiting methods.
That'd be passive recruiting. Correct.
Absolutely. By the way, Facebook ads, I'm going to tell you right now, whoever can figure that out and run with it and knows what they're doing without spending a fortune and can niche down into Facebook, our niche, they'll kill it because nobody's done it.
I think it's a good idea.
It's a fantastic idea, and it's on our to-do to figure out.
List. That's right. It's on our to-do list, and something that we just want to study first and get good at and dial in and have a pretty good idea and go forth with that. But we are so busy right now just with dialing our target market.
Yeah.
And doing some of the passive things with videos and so on and so forth that we're very, very busy, but we will get to it.
Okay, Pete, that's all the questions that showed up here, and we've gone, I don't know where the clock is, you've got it maybe on your end, but I'm sure plenty long. Yeah. Appreciate your night tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure, Jim. I appreciate it. I hope it helped out the team, and we'll be doing more of these.
Yeah, and, if this was helpful for your business, leave us a comment. Hit us back up. Let us know what are the questions you'd like us to answer. Do you like this format with the Google Hangouts? Would you rather we just do live calls where it's just a call? Eventually, Facebook is going to have a split screen option so we can do Facebook Live in the group.
That'd be optimal.
Yeah, and that's the best thing. But the technology is not available yet for us to do that. They're rolling it out slowly. We've been Googling it and looking at it and pulling our hair out, trying to figure it out. That's why Pete wears the ball cap. He's pulling his hair out all the time on.
Yeah.
So anyway, that'll come. In the meantime, we'll do this, or we can do live calls, whatever you guys have. Just drop a suggestion or a comment. We really value each one of them, and we'll read, of course, every one of them. So with that, Pete, I'll let you take us out.
Yeah, guys. Hey, Pete Olsen, the Montana Silver Stacker. Jim Lewis, my biz partner down in Dana Point. We appreciate you guys in ISN. Let's keep working hard, keep hustling, keep recruiting, keep retailing, and let us know any way that we can help you guys. That's what Jim and I are here for, is to help the group thrive in ISN. That's what we want, and really excited to take you and to raise you as high as you want to go. And,
8 days left, Pete. 8 days.
8 days left for our cruise promotion, guys. 8 days to get qualified. A week from tomorrow.
Yep.
which is the 15th of May. All right, to the Caribbean. So let's really hustle these this last week here. Okay. Appreciate you guys very much. We'll talk real soon.
Okay. Good night,
Have a
everyone.
good night.